When a nation here on earth parts with its credit and money, it does not matter who sits in the parliament. They will not be able to come up with any solution that will benefit the common man. Because human beings that control the credit institutes and the right to print money are the ones that determine the laws of any nation here on earth. So it means those human beings, they have got the ability to wreck any nation if they so desire. Let me explain what I mean. When you look at this entire world today, especially Africa, there is a mistake we did, and that mistake is not being taught in schools, and philosophers and professors, I have not located them speaking about that. What it is this. If white people could devise a system that placed Africa under colonialism, and they end up deciding to give Africa back, don't you think they would have devised another system that is better than the first one? Are they fools? Let me explain what I mean. When black people were told by the whites that no, it's not a problem, there's no need to continue fighting here, take back your land, take back your minerals, take back your governments, we all celebrated. And white people were looking at saying, look at these fools. What is it that white people had understood? White people had understood that the real power is not in land, is not in minerals, is not in government. Real power is in those that control credit institute and the right to print money. So what white people did, they knew that if you have a claim of gold, but you don't have money to work on that claim is useless. I mean, you can want 2 kgs of meat, but you don't have money, but you have got a stand that you are selling. If no one buys that stand, you will sleep without eating meat. Hayi ndikufamba ne topic yamkoma wenyu yamapiwe msaje ndikufamba ne topic yamkoma titesera. So then what white people then did, they said no, we can indirectly control these people. So what should we do? They sat down and called their best scholars to look into the strategy, if it was well articulated, because they knew that if they did any mistake, they were going to be in for a jumping castle. So what they did is that they saw that no, this is a lacquer system. And they said, look here, black people, no, there's no need to fight. Take your land, take your governments, take your countries. And we took the government, we took the land, we took the minerals, and they took credit institutes and the right to print money. So every nation that you see here on earth in Africa is useless without loans and credit from these white institutes. That's why for Zimbabwe to be a better country, to make use of our hidden treasures, we need loans from the IMFs. Without those loans, there is nothing we will be able to do. So the question is, who has the real power? So when you look at our parliaments in Africa, they are turning into circuses where human beings are campaigning to be MPs so that they can debate and compete on who's the better comedian in parliament. But when you zero in, you discover that there is no single discussion that can be made in parliament that can bring a solution to a common man in Africa. Because they are not the ones in control. The ones that are in control are the people that are controlling the credit institutes and the right to print money. So let me tell you why I'm explaining this. The reason why I'm explaining this is this. It was not allowed that money should be printed without at least a minimum of 40% in assurance. Meaning, paka print kwa 1 billion, there was a need of at least of a backup of assurance of 400,000. Are we together? So what white people did is that they introduced the private sectors. And these private banking sectors were given the right to print money. So here on earth, you cannot compete with individuals that have got the right to print money, because they just wake up from their bed and enter offices and print money out of thin air. But they give out that money with taxes and interest rates accompanying that money. So you yourself, you are told to get money, you have to find a job and work 30 days in a month from 8 to 5 to get 1,000 United States dollars. Yet there are individuals who can simply wake up and decide to print 100 million. So how can you compete with that person? Pamari. Uri kubhenda chasika, hauna dhora raunowana tsano ukasapinda mubhinda uko. Asi kune mabharanzi ari kungomuka achinoripinta dhora iroro. Pototaura kuti right panapa taprinta 100 million yataprinta panapa. Right, yoda mari yoda 1 million. Saka what they do is that they print money that they did not labor for in exchange of goods that people labored for. You go to a bank, you say you want 100,000 loan. They go and print that 100,000 and give it to you, but they want a collateral of a house that you toiled and worked for. So already, when you want to look at the foundation of the rich getting richer and the poorer getting poorer, that is the definition there. The reason why the rich get richer and the poorer get poorer is because on earth, there are human beings who have been given the right to just print money. And if you are not part of those human beings, you cannot be wealthy. So every nation that you see here on earth in Africa today, why is it that we got back our minerals, we got back our land, we got back our governments, but Africa is still in the third world nation? We are expecting that if we got back our land in my diamonds, yes, we are eating from the crumbs of white people because they understood that we can give these people independence. But if they do not have the right to control credit institutes, if they do not have the right to print money, they will remain our slaves, because we keep giving them money in exchange of the very same land we gave them back. We can give them money in exchange of the very same minerals we gave them back. So we are saying, here in Africa, Africa is not being controlled or being moved forward by parliamentaries. It is being controlled by these credit institutes and people that have got the right to print money. So now when you zero in now and you look at the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of heaven is not a deceptive kingdom like what white people did to us, that they deceived that by giving us independence we are getting everything, and yet they had a plan B. The way white people treated Africa is the same way that Lucifer treated Eve in Genesis chapter 3 from verse 1 to 7. He offered Eve an opportunity which had a plan behind the scenes. Eve, come closer. What is it you are talking about? No, God said we should not eat this tree and the fruit thereof. Eve, come close. Let me tell you, if you do this and this and this, this is why God didn't want you to eat of the fruit. Eve ate of that fruit, not knowing that the deceiver had a plan. And today, we are suffering because of that. So the kingdom of heaven is not a kingdom that is presented to humanity with an evil agenda. It is a plain kingdom that everyone that has common sense must receive. It makes outright what it expects, what you should do. And when you do what it says you should do, you receive what it says you receive. So we are saying, here on earth, as human beings, we must understand that there is power in walking right with God, because you can be given an ability to control institutes, organizations, human beings, faculties, and access genuine wealth that is backed by the power of the Holy Spirit. It doesn't matter any parliament of demons here on earth. If you have that power, you are the one in control. There is no parliament of demons that can sit down to plot your failure. and actually achieve that, because that power, it will be a power that will be beyond